Probably fascinated by steelhead because as a child I was fascinated by steelhead. I started out as a trout fisherman, but always living in steelhead country and reading and hearing about steelhead. They were this mythical creature that swam in the winter. And
the epitome of wild to me is wild steelhead. They are truly the last of a dying breed.
It's one of the best things the fish world has come up with. As a freshwater fish, for swimming speed, for leaping abilities, they're just really, really hard to beat. And I mean, they're sea-run rainbow trout.
Truly one of nature's gifts, because they'll go places that no other fish will go.
The fish are so beautiful. There's so much diversity in steelhead relative to salmon.
They really are more of a symbol of wild, which I think appeals to a lot of people in this day and age of technology and society and cities and all.
I think that steelhead sort of became my icon, my focal point of intertwining that which you enjoy in life with the need to conserve it.
Without the wild fish, we're not going to have any fishery.
In November 2012, I returned home to Washington State, back to the rainforests and the rivers of my youth, to meet an old friend I've had an on and off relationship with since childhood, Oncorhynchus micus, or nicknamed the Steelhead. Amongst the complex ecosystem and jade rivers of the Olympic Peninsula, in my opinion, lies the greatest race of steelhead in America. Some anglers landing these sea-run rainbows over 35 pounds. I had the honor of hooking one of these leviathans 4 years ago on the lower Hoh River, but he snapped my line, laughed at me, and has been haunting my dreams and feeding my addiction ever since. I showed up in Washington determined and motivated for this adventure. I'd been waiting for years, but I was a little worried as well, as I had become aware of the decline of steelhead populations along the west. I had spent the better part of last year researching steelhead and reading countless scientific papers. What I read inclined me to buy a camera, meet up with as many people along the way, and educate myself and document the plight of the wild steelhead. I had been enjoying good to great steelhead fishing in Northern California over the past 5 years, but could hardly wait to get back home to the River of the Giants. I'd become obsessed with steelhead, going as far as returning to college to study fisheries biology. But nothing could prepare me for the next 4 months.
Here it is, the 3rd of April. Been fishing since early November here on the Hoh River on the Olympic Peninsula, and still haven't caught a fish yet. I must have at least 40 days. I'll have to look on the calendar, but I have at least 40 days on the Hoh swinging flies, and got one on the Queets. But for the amount of fishing I've done this year, it's almost not even worth it anymore. It's sad. These are the rivers I grew up on as a kid. No fish left. Not very many of them. Just got a hookup back there, and I am thrilled. 2 weeks of hard work paid off. I obviously didn't land it, it came on top, but it's good to hear the reel scream. Know that there's at least one fish left around here.
My name is Shane Anderson, and by now you're probably asking why I keep pursuing this fish of thousands of casts. I simply love the experience, the challenge, adventure, and exploration that take me deep into the natural world. and I begin to live in the now, completely focused. Each river experience opens up my senses that everyday life seems to keep locked up. Colors become more vibrant, sounds more acute, and smells crisp. When you enter the river, you become a part of the ecosystem, and the natural world opens up to you. Ah, and then there's the fish. How can you not want to connect with something so wild, so powerful, and so elusive? Although my conscience is beginning to weigh in a bit, as I know I am a piece of the puzzle that is loving the fish to death.